Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them.
Live from Kingston, Jamaica, broadcasting around the world. You're watching the Teach Them YouTube show. Intellectual, yet stimulating. Fair, frank, and factual. And now,
broadcasting live.
We will broadcast
live. This is Extra Class, streaming to the world and beyond.
Hey, let's go.
You know, it's Teach Them, the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel.
Hello everyone, it's been a while. Let me know if you're seeing me clearly. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. Sunday morning, good morning. Hope everybody is okay. As I said, it's been a while. When I really come here, but let's go here to talk about the potential of Hurricane Beryl affecting, influencing weather conditions across Jamaica. This is not a video about doom and gloom or to frighten anybody. We're just going to look at the thing for what it is and hope for the best. As we speak, our Caribbean brothers, especially in the Windward Islands, and probably in Trinidad and Barbados, are probably currently experiencing effects of the approach of the system. I'm not sure if I'll be able to probably take a few calls from people in the region, out in the Windward Islands, Barbados, Trinidad, to see what's going on out there. So this is not a doom and gloom situation. However, there are some concerning signs. Just to preface the discussion, this is the strongest hurricane to have been recorded so far south, so far east, so early in the hurricane system on record. So this is kind of unprecedented, really, for such a strong storm. I think it's category 3 at the moment, and rapid intensification is predicted, projected, expected. As a matter of fact, it is suggesting that when it passed the Windward Islands and move into the Caribbean basin, it is expected to strengthen into a category 4 hurricane, and who knows what after that. So there are cause for concern. Definitely countries in the Windward Islands will be affected. I think Grenada is steering down the barrel as we speak, based on some tracks that I'm seeing. So that is the situation currently. I don't know, I think one phone around the search. I'm not even sure which phone having the chip for take call. So, but we'll talk about some little things. So there are a couple of things. Big up Oswald Thomas, Darian Henry. Big up yourself. Yeah, and I think that is probably the only positive at the moment as it relates to the system. It is the forward motion. It is moving very quickly at about 20, 21, 22 miles per hour. That is extremely quick. So that is generally a good thing, because you don't want such a massive hurricane to be sitting stationary over land or near land for any period of time. So the faster it's moving forward, I guess that's the only silver lining at the moment. And things. So for the people who are big up on yourself, just some things. Let me see if I can share my screen and refresh. So all right, screen share. Right, so currently this is Beryl out in the Atlantic. Currently our category 3 system, expected to continue to strengthen. There is another area of disturbance out in the Atlantic that I think this morning when I saw this system that says 2 had a 70% chance of development. It is now at 40%. Out in the Gulf of Mexico, we have a system with a 50% chance, an area of disturbance with a 50% chance of development. But our concern here is Beryl. It has become very organized, and it is bearing down on the Windward Islands. So Barbados is definitely going to be affected, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, based on the diameter of the storm, Trinidad is going to be experiencing some South American countries will probably be getting rainfall from the system. But one of the important things to look at is the fact that there is nothing. So basically, the system has what we call a free run. You understand? There's nothing really standing in the way of it intensifying and getting more stronger. One, the Saharan dust that was projected to affect the region the past couple of days is basically gone. So what the Saharan dust would probably do is to kind of push it further south or further north, so away from the Caribbean. The Caribbean dust is not there. There's no wind shear to divert the projected path of the system or to slow it down or to weaken it. And the waters in the Caribbean Sea, you can use it make tea. The surface temperatures has been sweltering for the past 6, 7, 8 months now. Even during the winter period, it was extremely warm. So the conditions in the Atlantic and Caribbean basin are extremely favorable for the development of system, the sustenance of system, the intensification of system. And this is very early in the hurricane season, and we're dealing with a major hurricane. The season has been forecast to be extremely active, and if this is how it's starting, then it is crazy to have the second name system be a major hurricane. And again, one of the issues, or a couple of the issues, is that so far out in the Atlantic to be so strong so soon is crazy. So those are the things that we are treating with. Now, I know most people here are probably wondering what does this mean for Jamaica? At this point in time, I really can't say. It is a little bit too early. However, let me share my screen again. However, the cone that is available presently, so this is where the system is right here. June 30th at 11 a.m. Category 3 hurricane, packing maximum sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour. I'm sure there are probably even higher gusts in and around the eye wall of the system. So the cone, so let me explain something to you about the cone now. The cone is a projected area for the system to travel. So the system can travel on the northern line of the cone up here. So it can travel along the southern line, or it can travel anywhere inside or in the middle. This is just a projection. So Jamaica is currently on the northern boundary of the cone at this point in time. Zane, however, based on the size of the system, based on the diameter of the system, it is very likely that Jamaica will be impacted. Somebody saying it is category 4 at the moment. Thanks, Shadow Posh. I guess the information is coming in while we stream. So category 4 hurricane is the only higher number on the Saffir-Simpson scale is category 5. So we are treating with a massive hurricane in terms of size, in terms of intensity, and the Windward Islands, the islands St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados will feel some effect out here in the Atlantic. Tobago is in the firing line, and based on the outer bands of the system, places in northern South America will definitely, because if you look at the outer bands, how far they are extending outwards from the center of the system, you realize that Guyana and Suriname will be experiencing some form of deteriorating weather conditions. Barbados out here in the Atlantic is going to be treating with probably category 2 hurricane conditions, maybe. Tobago right here is Trinidad and Tobago will be experiencing probably hurricane conditions. Then you have Grenada and you have St. Vincent above Grenada there, and the Grenadines, the smaller islands of St. Vincent. So those islands are in the crosshairs at the moment. For a category 4 hurricane, this is it's potentially catastrophic. And the issue here is that, as I said earlier, this is what we call a free run. There's nothing there to alter the path of the system. There's nothing there to reduce the intensity of the system, because the waters of the Atlantic are so warm. The waters in the Caribbean basins is so warm. There's no Saharan dust to push the system to the north or to the south, and there's no wind shear to rip the system apart or to divert the projected path. So it is not looking good. As it relates to Jamaica, presently, we are a couple of days out. I guess in the next 36 to 48 hours, we'll get a clearer picture of the Jamaican situation. As I said, this video for Jamaica is not about the doom and gloom. It is really a little bit early to be saying we will get a direct impact. I haven't seen any spaghetti line projection yet. It's just a cone, and I said the cone, let me go back to this again for the persons. So what the cone is saying, it is giving you an area that the system can travel within. Yeah? So when you see a cone, it means that the system can travel along the northern boundary of the cone, the southern boundary, or anywhere in between. It could be along the center line, it could be anywhere. So Jamaica is in the cone, but the system can travel probably 100, the high of the system can travel probably about 100, 150 miles south of Jamaica. We don't know yet. However, conditions are favorable for even further intensification from currently Category 4, and there's nothing to slow down the system or to reduce the intensity. No wind shear, nothing. The islands in the windward, they are very small, not very mountainous, so there's no landmass in the way to kind of slow it down or to pull it apart. It is not looking good. The Cayman Islands, I guess it is way too early. They are in the cone currently, looking at it here, but we don't know if it is too early to say X for Jamaica. And this is just now, again, this is not expert prediction, projection capabilities. I am merely a high school teacher of geography who understands to a level how these things work, but I'm not somebody who works with the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. So let me put it out there. So we're just looking at it for what it is and looking what may happen. So take out Jamaica for now. The Eastern Caribbean, the Windward Islands primarily, between St. Vincent and Grenada, are in for a rough ride. Barbados, despite not being in the cone here, the diameter of the system will see, Barbados is right here. Look at the diameter of the system here. So there's no way Barbados can escape adverse weather condition. How bad it will be is sorry, we'll see in time. Tobago, Trinidad the same, but then St. Vincent down to Grenada will be, and then other islands in the Windward and probably a few in the Leeward Islands may also experience adverse weather condition. So I don't know if there's anybody in the chat currently residing or in any one of these Eastern Caribbean islands, Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent, anywhere in the Grenadines, who would be able to, at least whether call or in the comments, kind of give an idea of what the conditions are like presently in those islands, what the emergency preparations are like, and think it is really and truly just based on my experience teaching geography and looking at hurricanes, teaching about hurricanes, it is not looking good for the Windward Islands. Possibly Barbados, possibly Trinidad and Tobago, even as far south as Guyana may have some issues. You understand? Then Venezuela will be impacted based on this. And yeah, currently in St. Vincent, funnily it is bright and sunny. Okay, Father Patrick, I sincerely hope that it remains bright and sunny. But despite that being said, I hope that, people out in St. Vincent, my Vincentian brothers and sisters are taking precaution and are treating with this impending system seriously and are putting things in place to, and I mean, guard against the loss of life and property if possible. I suppose the island is currently under hurricane watch though, because I suppose the warning would have been lifted. Well, yeah, because the system is, the forward motion of the system is crazy. The female name storms usually spares our blessed island. That is why I love home. Beryl for Johnson, as I said that, I was saying earlier that the older name storms tend to not be kind to Jamaica. The Charlies and the Allans and the Ivans and the Gilberts and the Deans, those systems have not treated us very well. I think Mitch affected us quite a bit back in 90. I think Mitch was in about 90. I don't want to get it wrong. Probably about 97, may I say. Currently under watch. Oh, it's currently under watch. Usually come before this time. Yeah, Chantel, definitely so. And things. So, Father Patrick, I hope that you and the family will, be able to ride out this with as minimum of issues as possible. Based on the current intensification and the rate of intensification and the conditions, upper level conditions and surface level conditions, it is a recipe that is not looking so well though. But we hope for the best and thing. So again, for the Jamaican context now, it is still early days. It is expected to be in our region sometime Wednesday, late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. As it relates to how close the eye of the system will be to the island, I can't say. As I said, I've not seen any spaghetti projection. Those are those little lines that you normally see a possible path or a track. Haven't seen any of those yet. I am just seeing the cone, and I said the cone means it is possible for the system to travel anywhere within that area. It could be to the northern boundary, it could be to the southern boundary, it could be to the center, it could be anywhere within that area is a possibility. And it is kind of still too early to say whether Jamaica will be impacted directly. Also, what will be the intensity of the system at that time. However, it is important. I know as Jamaicans, we normally say, a regular them say storm a come and we go buy things and a storm not come. It is better to be prepared than to not be prepared. It is better to have the things and need them than need them and don't have them. It is better to be prepared and it don't come and we give thanks and praise and count our blessings than don't prepare and we curse our luck. It is just, we need to be careful. What the best insurance company for hurricanes? It's a very good question in Father Greenland. I am not even sure. Jadi says Sunday did some damage to his property. Them something there. So be careful, peep. Again, still early days for Jamaica. Not so early days for our brothers out in the Windward Islands and Trinidad and Barbados. When you look at it here, Barbados look like it is in a good position. So does Trinidad. However, this is just something different from this. When you look at this now, crap, we're gone. Alright, so let me see if we can open up this. No? Crap. I soon find it back on show now. I try show. Alright, I'm gonna go somewhere till I find back that. You understand? refresh this one. So it is currently, as somebody had said earlier, crap. Most I behave like I want to suppose. So it's a category 4 system currently. It is still out in the Atlantic, approaching the Windward Islands. So we have Barbados here. We have Trinidad and Tobago here. Tobago is on the southern boundary of the projected cone. And then we have Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and so on. Then moving into the region, it is saying that, okay, by the time it is approaching Jamaica, it may be a category 3 system, and then a 2, then 1. We don't know for sure. You understand? What are the conditions going to be like in a few days out in the southern Caribbean Sea? We have to hope for the best. And the cone again, while Jamaica is in the cone, the system could pass down here, so upon the blue line here. Oh, no, answer my thing. Zane, or it could pass in the middle of the cone or to the north of the cone, closer to Jamaica. We don't know currently, so we just have to prepare and get ourselves together just in case the worst becomes the reality. We can't pretend like we don't know, say, a serious times. Zane, let me see if I can. 1, 2, 3. No, man. Right, so let me see if I can share this one. Screen share. So I'm seeing this. So currently at 11 a.m., this is where the system is at. Current information, it is located 10.7 degrees north latitude and 54.9 degrees west longitude. Maximum sustained winds 120 miles per hour. That is severe. Zane, and it is moving west at a rate of 21 miles per hour. That is very fast. In hurricane language, 21 miles per hour is fast. Most systems move at an average of 12 to 15 miles per hour. 21 miles per hour is extremely quick. So whilst it will bring the system to the Windward Islands quicker, it means that it will also leave the Windward Islands quicker. So the severity of the impact may be not so bad versus a slower moving system or a sitting system. You don't want to treat with that. So that is one silver lining presently. So see the code now for Tuesday 8 a.m. The system is out in the Caribbean basin south of Hispaniola by Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning now. So late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning is when we will start to experience adverse weather conditions possibly from the system. Again, we are to the northern boundary of the cone, and we don't know where in that area within the cone the system's center will actually travel. And then because where the system center is traveling is cause of concern, because that area immediately around the eye of the storm that we call the eye wall is actually the most dangerous part of the hurricane. That is where the greatest wind speed is experienced. That is where the greatest amount of rainfall is experienced. That is where most of the thunderstorms are concentrated. So the eye wall of the system is the most dangerous part of the hurricane. And then we're on the eye wall, you fall can be also be more problematic than other places to based on the rotation of the system at the time. A whole heap of things. So let us not. So Jamaica currently, it is cause for concern if it just based on me not being a meteorologist by any stretch of the imagination, just using my experience as a high school teacher of geography and studying hurricanes, how they operate and what may happen, is just suggesting that we need to keep a very close eye on this system. We don't know what will happen in the next 2 to 3 days. But for now, if you look, hurricane warnings are all the islands in red. So all the Windward Islands here, Tobago, Barbados, they are currently on the hurricane warning. And the hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are expected to affect the area within the next 24 hours or less. So you have a watch, which is saying, okay, within conditions will start to deteriorate within the next 36 to 48 hours. When you are placed under watch, it is under warning, you know, say the thing not so look so good. You understand? Tropical storm conditions will affect some of the northern Windward Islands and probably makes it way up even into the southern Leeward Islands. So Trinidad is on the tropical storm watch, whilst Tobago is on the hurricane warning. Yeah. So those things, Barbados, as I said, will be experiencing some problems, as I was showing you the diameter of the system earlier. So yes, teacher, most of the computer models have been high wall passing. I think that should be below theirs. Yes. But again, those teacher turn weatherman. No, you know, Peter, this is something we normally do during these times of the year when we have these things dealing with, you know. It is kind of a little bit of a comfort zone for me in terms of, you know, weather things because of my geography and environmental studies background. So yeah. And then the problem, I will not do no extra spending. Blessings, Lady Janice Murray. And I understand that, but whether or not you spend, just also, you know, treat with it as something that you need to keep your eye on. So as I said, when I came on, this was not about doom or gloom and Jamaica will be facing a category 4 or 5. I can't tell you that. It is too early for me to tell you that. I have not seen any spaghetti lines. This is just a cone, and I said with the cone, the system can travel along the northern boundary of the cone, the southern boundary of the cone, or anywhere between. So we don't know. You understand? Hopefully the cone, as the days goes by, continue to be pushed further down south. The issue with that though is that the Saharan dust is non-existent to push it further down. There's no upper level wind shear to divert the course or push it down or push it up. So we don't have that. So the system has basically a free run. There's no mountainous country or countries in the Windward Islands or mountainous enough to have really any significant impact on the organization of the system. So we have to deal with them things there. You understand what I say? Jaro, me there, you know, I wasn't well for a bit. And me need some rest here, bro. But me there, me not gone nowhere. You understand? Regular programming will resume on the channel in short order. But we could try to see how we best we can come. And the issue with this again, there is another area of disturbance in the Atlantic. Can't lose all of them something there. There's another area of disturbance out in the Atlantic that has a 40% chance of development. We have to keep an eye on that as well. There is another system out in the Gulf of Mexico, just west of the Yucatan Peninsula, that has a 50% chance of development. So the basin is extremely active, extremely early. And as I said, based on the information that I have, this is the most intense hurricane on record in the Atlantic basin this early in the season, this far south and this far east. Normally at this time, major hurricanes tend to develop within the Gulf of Mexico, and it is just showing you the conditions, how favorable they are in the region at the moment in the Atlantic Ocean, and the fact that there's no atmospheric conditions to kind of help to treat with these systems, whether to push them north or south. No wind shear, no Saharan dust, no mountainous country. It's not like it's going over Hispaniola or Cuba or even Jamaica per se, where we are more mountainous than our brothers and sisters out in the Windward Islands. So yeah. So again, for the record, for the Jamaican context, don't go tell nobody. Say me tell you, say a doom and gloom. I never tell you that. What I am saying is that the possibility for the system affecting Jamaica seems moderately high to me, if you ask me, based on the diameter of the system, based on the conditions in the Caribbean basin, based on how the thing look, but I can't say what type of impact. Hopefully very little, if any. If local rain, we take local rain, so Mona reservoir and dam and hope dam and Mona reservoir things, so and all of the water catchment area them can get, and the farmer then can benefit. Nice local rain, we take that. You understand what I mean? I say no. So Hurricane Beryl is an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane. Let me show you something with you. Them something there. So Beryl, the first hurricane of the 2024 season, intensify.
Warned on Saturday.
Oh, this is a foolishness. Some AI vice business that. So let me read it. So the first hurricane of the 2024 season intensified Sunday into a high octane Category 4 storm. Let me pause that. Oh crap! I need this shot right here. Is it? Packing 130 miles per hour winds, and as it barrels towards the Caribbean. So the National Hurricane Center said the reconnaissance aircraft found that Beryl, which was 350 miles east-southeast of Barbados on Sunday, is now an extremely dangerous hurricane. Life-threatening winds and powerful storm surge are expected, and Beryl could deliver a devastating strike on the Windward Islands early Monday, as I was kind of pointing out. Hopefully them wrong and me wrong. Wind speeds on the islands could be up to 30% stronger on the tops and windward sides of hills and mountains, possibly even higher. The center said, now catastrophic wind damage, and then you hear hurricane and them start use the word catastrophic as a possibility, then you know you're in problem. Catastrophic wind damage was possible, the center said. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada were most at risk. As I said earlier, St. Vincent, Grenada, and the Grenadines, which are the smaller islands of St. Vincent, are directly in the firing line. After Beryl Center moves across the Windward Islands early Monday, the storm will cross the southeastern and central Caribbean Sea late Monday through Wednesday. Hurricane warning, meaning hurricane conditions are expected in the area, were in effect Sunday for Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, and Tobago. A tropical storm warning was in effect for Martinique. A tropical storm watch was in effect for Dominica and Trinidad. Beryl could bring 1 to 4 inches of rainfall to southeastern Puerto Rico on Monday night and into Tuesday. Beryl is the first hurricane of what is expected to be an extraordinary 2024 season. Tropical Storm Alberta, the first named storm of the season, left at least 4 people dead in Mexico after it made landfall on June 20. Beryl underwent rapid intensification. It was declared a tropical depression, then a tropical storm on Friday, and by Sunday it was a major hurricane. Now, fueled by warm water, as I was saying, you can use the water in the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean to make tea. Hurricane Beryl, supercharged by warm seas and stuns expert. What am I mash up in the house, do father? And them something. So it is not right. So this is what I was treating with earlier. So look at the very defined eye, very defined center of circulation, the eye wall where you look at those orange into yellow shades. That is where most of the strongest winds are, most of the thunderstorms and heavy rain. But look at the outer bands of the system, and as it rotates, Zane, look at how far the outer bands and the amount of precipitation or rainfall, let me use rainfall, because then the amount of rainfall that it will bring to places like Guyana, some parts of Suriname, Trinidad down here, so in this hiding, Tobago in this hiding, when it reaches there, so it's not looking good, peeps. That is for the and this is what I've been looking at. So as I said again, if we get a closer look at this, so the cone is an indication of possible paths that the system will travel. So it can travel anywhere between where you see the cone. So it can travel down at the southern boundary here, it can travel closer to the northern boundary, it can travel along the center line, between the center line and the northern boundary, between the center line and the southern boundary, or it can move erratic, and many possibilities exist. We just hope for the best. Again, anybody else, DJ Frado music from how are things looking in St. Lucia, my brother? Jamaica is in the cone, and we should not worry over it. Barbados is not in the cone, and them I get washed away. You see, because the situation with Barbados is that the system is closer to Barbados, and based on the diameter of the system, it is possibly safe to suggest that Barbados will definitely be so Barbados here, general where I look. So Barbados is the furthest island out in the Atlantic. See? This is where the system is. So yeah, so Barbados is not in the cone yet, because Barbados is so close to the cone, then probably fall outside of the cone, but based on the diameter of the system and the area that is expected to be affected by the outer bands of the system, and Barbados probably will even be affected by areas closer to the center of the system than you think. Because many things can happen between where the system is now and by the time it reaches Barbados. The situation with Jamaica, my friend, with Jamaica, so while Jamaica is in the cone, so again, so let me try do something here. So Barbados out here, so this is Barbados above, so cone, Barbados. But look at this now, right? And remember the signs of the system that you saw just now. It no matter what you think about it, so it is saying that the system is going to travel, the center of the system should travel within this cone, passing Barbados. However, the size of the system means that Barbados will invariably be affected. When you go further out a couple of days out now, crap. So Jamaica is in the cone, but the system can travel along the southern boundary down here, so you know, my friend. It can travel in. So even if it are traveling at the middle here, so the center will be so far from Jamaica that Barbados would maybe still have experienced a greater impact. Again, another thing, Barbados is relatively flat. Jamaica is relatively mountainous. Well, especially along the central ridge of the island. So all of those factors should be taken into consideration, I suggest. It is way too early to determine what is going to happen to Jamaica. So that's the long and short. But for Barbados out here, so it is very clear that no matter which part in the cone here, and you see, look at the size of the cone out here, so versus the size of the cone where Jamaica falls in. That is because of how close the system currently is to them. And based on the system, my friend, we're gone. Based on the diameter of the system, see Barbados right here, so furthest east in the region, they will be affected. We don't know what is going to happen to Jamaica yet. Going forward, many things can happen. DJ Frada said, Jesus. Okay, I suppose everybody say, I hope that everybody will be okay. My brother, I think you guys are currently under a tropical storm watch currently, a warning. So hopefully the effects of the system will be very minimal, and we won't have any reports of loss of lives or major damage to any property. Yeah. So I just saw them things that were, my friend. It is not as straight. It's not an exact science, because as I said, the cone means here, for example, the cone here. So Barbados here under hurricane watch, right? So when let me see if I can zoom into this some more. Help my friend. See? So this is Barbados. So even though the cone, they are on the northern boundary of the cone, based on how close the system is to them and how big the system is. Okay, all right, let me leave that because, all right, I can't. I stop get paid for teach people pitney. So banana, I can't stress myself about that. All right, my boss. So let's see what happens come Tuesday, late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, where the system will be located in relation to Jamaica and what impact the system will have on the country, if any, I suppose. So we'll see. And I wish Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean safe to hurricane storm free. Amen to that. And thing. So again, peeps, the Jamaica situation, way too early to make any suggestion, predictions, assessment, except to say that we are currently in the sphere of influence of the system based on the cone that has been projected. Well, I still haven't seen any spaghetti models, which is basically showing you the line where the thing is expected to travel. And even so, that is not the exact science either. There may be variations for various reasons. You understand? So these things are, you know what I mean, treated with as you move along. Oh no, people should start preparing from now. I mean, you don't want to wait until it's too late. So get a look at things them together, just in case. I suppose though, Lady Millicent, it's good to see you, by the way. It is, I guess, within by Monday evening, tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, we'll get a better picture of the Jamaican situation, because I don't think that the effects of the system will start impacting the island until probably late Tuesday into Wednesday morning. So I guess we still have today and tomorrow to look and see what is going to happen. Again, the cone means that the system can travel anywhere within these black lines leading up to Jamaica and those white lines above and after it passes Jamaica. That is what it means. You understand? So if I am just suggesting that this is something we need to pay attention to as Jamaica. For my Caribbean brothers in the Windward Islands and in some of the southern Leeward Islands and Trinidad, their situation is a little bit more urgent. I think that they will, especially Grenada and St. Vincent, will be significantly affected by the system. There's just nothing there to suggest otherwise, because there's no Saharan dust, there's no wind shear, there's no mountainous regions there. It is just basically a free run. So St. Vincent down to Grenada will be in for a rough time. That is just the reality. Barbados very likely also may be in for a very rough ride. Trinidad and Tobago will be in for a very rough ride. You understand? That is just the reality. Martinique, St. Lucia, other islands in the region will experience severe weather conditions. So we hope for the best. I'll probably stream again later to see if we can, you know what I mean, take another look at the system, and probably by tomorrow this time now, I will have a clearer picture when the information, because I know me I met the information. When I look at what the Met Office is saying, when I look at what the National Hurricane Center is saying, when I look at the radars from NOAA and all of those places, then I'll be better able to kind of work out what I call layman's perspective. Plus, use the info with the experts, I must say, and share the info with them. So this is not a doom and gloom video for Jamaica, just to say that this is something that we need to keep an eye on, because based on how it looks now, there will be some impact on the island from the system. How severe that will be, I can't say. It is too early. But as for my Caribbean brothers and sisters in Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, the Windward Islands, especially St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. I sincerely hope that as the system comes closer and passes, the effects will be as manageable as is possible. Truth be told, that a Category 4 system passing over such small islands with very little in terms of topography, mountains and stuff to help to, treat with it, it is going to be a bumpy ride. I hope that there will be zero loss of lives, but if it comes to that, the numbers will be very minimal, and I hope that the impact on property and infrastructure will be of such where the recovery will be as short as possible. A Category 4 hurricane is a serious hazard to treat with and potential natural disaster. I pray for my brothers and sisters out in the Windward Islands. It is just the reality at the moment. And thing. Dale Thompson, all the best in the weather. Hopefully you get to move. Hopefully the weather is of such where you will be able to forward a yard and thing. So people a yard, just keep an eye open. I will try to provide updates as often as I can ish. Probably 2 per day. Probably one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening, and so on. Go on. Again, I am not a trained meteorologist. Just a trained high school teacher of geography who would have spent almost 2 decades treating with hurricanes, formation, and effects and potential effects on them. So it is from that. So I am not coming here telling that I'm a climatologist or meteorologist, just you to teach them geography and kind of have a fairly good working understanding of how these things happen and potential implications and impact. And also, again, just to wrap up, what makes Beryl so dangerous is the fact that, one, it is so early in the season. This is the strongest hurricane to have been recorded so early in the season, so far south, so far east. It just don't normally happen. Yeah? So it is showing you that the condition, this is the second name system of the season, and we are looking at a Category 4 hurricane. That is not normal. It is suggesting that the conditions within the Atlantic Basin and the Caribbean Basin and the Gulf of Mexico are favorable enough for any form of disturbance to become organized and develop into tropical depressions, tropical storms, hurricanes, major hurricanes, and probably superstorms beyond that. It is, you still have some people who will tell you that global warming is not a thing, and it is a thing. The intensity of hurricanes, the frequency of hurricanes will become even more dire as the years go by because of what is happening. When I was a boy, Christmas used to cool and nice. Now, when I am a big man starting to become old, Christmas and summer feel the same. That is just the reality. So you just think about growing up, what was temperatures like in the winter season in Jamaica, so between December and March versus in the summer. Now the lines are blurred. And because the Atlantic Basin and the Caribbean Basin and the Gulf of Mexico is exposed to surface temperature consistently so warm for such a long time, it now means that these systems between June 1 and November 30 every year will become more frequent and more intense. Also, there will start to be now a blur in the lines of the actual season. So we'll start in the future see hurricanes beyond November 30 and before June 1. That is just the reality that we are facing. You don't have to accept that, but from somebody who has spent again over 2 decades looking at global warming and doing case studies on Mauritius and the Maldives and other countries that are treating with sea level rise, and looking at the frequency and intensity of hurricanes for the past 25 years versus the previous 25 years, it is obvious that things are different. It is obvious that climatic conditions are changing. And just to me, as I say, back in the days when I was growing up, December used to cool and nice. Most December, these recent Decembers feel like June, July, August. That is just the truth. So you can't tell me, say, there has not been some form of change as it relates to climatic conditions and weather patterns in the past 4, 5, 6 decades. You cannot tell me that. You can accept that for yourself, but you can't tell me that. And as I said, as somebody who would have spent more time than probably some of you watching this, treating with these things from various different angles in preparing my students for CSEC geography, it is a thing. And Category 4 storm in July, out in the Atlantic, entering the Caribbean basin, so far south, so far east, so early, unheard of, never on record. And I suppose that if this is how the season has begun, then we may be in for a bumpy few months. I hope for the best. I extend prayer to the people out in Barbados, Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah. And then in a few days now, we'll get a better picture of the Jamaican situation. I really hope when I talk about this again tomorrow this time, the situation in Barbados, Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and probably in Trinidad and St. Lucia is the minimum of what could have happened. That is the reality. I am very concerned, though, about what will happen tonight into tomorrow in the Windward Islands. Yeah? You know, when we were going to primary school, them used to tell you June too soon, July standby, or July oh my, some people will say, but July standby. You understand what I say? June is not too soon anymore. July is not a standby thing anymore. We are treating with unprecedented shifts in climatic balances globally, regionally, locally, and this is the effects in front of your eyes. So again, I know there are people who are not into the climate change thing. Some people will even go and tell us that this now is a they might tell you about all sort of things. Arpan, one hurricanes got their name from the Arawaks in the region. So there were hurricanes from the Arawaks were around. Just think about that. You understand what I say? In the Bay of Bengal, in Australia, out in the Pacific, these systems have been here for hundreds of years. It's just that the frequency and intensity at which they are occurring has been ramping up over the past few decades. I think based on one of the thing that I was looking at, so this is what I was looking at, and if you look at this, you realize that some of the outer bands of the system will invariably bring rains to northern Guyana, to eastern and northern Guyana, and so I suppose Guyana will get some rainfall, but probably nothing to the extent of mass flooding, and then the forward motion of the system is as such that the system will not sit for anywhere for too long, so it will be moving very quickly, so it could be over in relatively short time. So this is based, so for Guyana, they will experience some rainfall from the outer bands on the southern side of the system. So we'll see what happens there. Right, and we were saying storms also happen on other planets. So this is not a new thing, and that's a very good point, Dewey. No matter how you have storms that have been around for millions of years. For example, do some research on Jupiter, but that's a next story for next time. We're not getting into that now. And things. So that's what it is. Again, for the Jamaica situation, don't go tell nobody. So me tell you, say Jamaica will be affected by the category XYZ. We don't know yet what will be the level of the impact on Jamaica in the next few days. We'll get a better idea, and then we will see. But for now, Jamaica is in the cone. So, and the cone means that the system can travel anywhere between those lines. And when we say the system, we mean the center of the system. So it can travel to the southern boundary, to the northern boundary, right through the middle, or anywhere else between. See? And as such, based on the diameter of the system, based on the intensity of the system, as it stands now, Jamaica will be impacted in some way, shape, or form. How severe will that be? The next couple of hours, as in 36 to 48 hours, will give us a better indication. When we start to see the spaghetti tracks being developed, then we'll get a better idea. Yes, Chungy, as I was said, the only silver lining so far is that the system, the forward motion is very quick, 21 miles per hour versus a stationary, sitting or slow moving. Imagine you have a very slow, a 12 mile per hour category 4 hurricane. That is disaster waiting to happen. So 21 miles per hour is a great thing. Category 4 though, not such a great thing. The only thing is that whatever effects and impact will be shorter than a slower moving storm. So I guess even on a bad day, God is good. God is good even on a bad day. So we watch and see. So peace, that is the situation. Could the storm... The issue with that AC base is that there is nothing surface level or upper atmospheric level to do that. So there's no wind shear to push the system further south or further north. There's no Saharan dust anymore to push the system, to guide the system further south or further north. So at the moment, and there's not enough mountainous landform between these areas and into the Caribbean basin to do anything to divert the path. So, but again, nature is an amazing thing. So we don't know. But presently, there is no upper level atmospheric condition or surface level condition that is suggesting that there will be a further southern shift or northern shift. There's no wind shear, and conditions are extremely favorable for sustenance and probably even greater intensification. We don't know. We watch and we see and we hope for the best. So yeah, so that's the situation piece. Big up on yourself. Again, Jamaicans, be alert. Keep an eye on. I know we have this thing about, we always prepare for hurricane and a shop and a hurricane now come on. You design to make money for your supermarket. I can't tell you how to spend your money. All I'm saying is that it is better to be prepared than not. It is better to have the things them and don't want them than to want them and don't have them. Again, you should think about your family, your friends, your colleagues, your associates as best as possible and advise them accordingly. I can't tell you what to do with your money or how to prepare yourself and your family. I can only say, based on the cone on screen, Jamaica is within the sphere of influence projected for the system. The system can travel way down at the white boundary down there, so up at the top one, or anywhere in between. We don't know yet. Still too early. What we know for certain is countries like Barbados, Tobago, Trinidad, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, St. Lucia, probably Martinique will be impacted some way, shape or form within the next 24 to 36 hours. That is the only thing we know for a fact. How bad will this impact be? We are treating with a category 4 hurricane that is in waters that are extremely warm, and that is what fuels hurricanes. There is no wind shear, upper level with atmospheric wind shear to push the system north or south or to rip the system apart. There's no mountainous landform to split the system apart. So this is a free run, and that is extremely problematic. That is all I can say. Take from that what you will. It is not looking good for the Windward Islands. It's not looking good for places like Barbados or Tobago. Grenada, it is really not looking good. We're just hoping for the best. And then when it comes out in the Southern Caribbean waters for the next couple of days, Monday evening into Tuesday, and we see what the Jamaican situation is. So Tuesday evening going into Tuesday night, we will now know in Jamaica how we will be impacted to a large degree. That is all I can say. Peeps, big up on yourself. I will update. I think with the update videos, most of them probably going to be live streams, I guess. Maybe tonight or probably tomorrow morning. It is cool to see a geographer like yourself teach and give feedback. May I try enough for the Adrian? Give thanks. Me and the guy look at school for them something here, so we can talk about it with a little bit of maybe authority, I guess. So you know what I think. It is not something I really and truly. I enjoy doing it in terms of knowing it, but in terms of, looking at the situation for my brothers in the Eastern Caribbean, I love that part there. But you know what I think. Peace. Big up on yourself. We will touch base again as the hours go by, and probably try to take a few calls from the Eastern Caribbean island probably later, and see what go on. Peace. Big up on yourself. Walk good. Step with ya. Safe travel upon the gravel. I'm out.